2024 for Falcom was surprising good enough for the case. They released kainokiseki alongside CLE at the same time. They released the E3 ports to PS4 and PS5 thanks to R-Link doing the port, the super priced versions of Kuro 1 and Kuro 2, and the Switch version as well. And on the NISA side, they re-released Cool Steel 3 and 4 for a double pack early in the year. Later in July, they gave in a patch update with the localization on Steam, and they released on PlayStation and Switch as well at the same time. 2 weeks later down the line, they announced Daybreak 2 in early 2025. CLE did release the PC version of xSEED that released in March, but unfortunately the port was downright terrible to the point of releasing the game and working the game from scratch. And they released again back in September. But one thing to note that the port got updated making it look like PS3's port. For example, they have removed the settings tools and changing directly in the game. They also announced the Steam version of East Memories of Sunset in spring 24 just to not happen at all. They were probably focused on doing the xSEED ports and also later down the line the Kai PC port. And lastly, artists with Tokyo Xanadu updated localization for the Switch version only, weirdly enough. But going after all of that, how is Falcom looking for 2025? First with xSEED coming from the Ashes bringing the remastered version of Open Pagana. It was first announced to be early 2025, but it got to be in January 7. But due to me being a lazy bum, the game will be out by then. It will be available on both PlayStation 4, 5, and on Switch as well. Nothing about the Steam version, so don't get your hopes about a patch on Steam with it. It's mainly the same game with not any story additions, but has an updated sprites for a new internal artist in Falcom that has joined since Hajimari than me and my friends call them Yo Felgana. This is their main big project so far. Unfortunately, they don't really have a site name per se. The game features a turbo mode that has some sprites of the main heroine and the boss rush for each difficulty as well. The only skills we don't really have as much as right now. As I'm recording this, they have announced a Kai PC port having the same features of xSEED, having DLS feature and AI upscaling. The surprising part is they don't really have an actual date. CLE could not help themselves and show Trails of the Sky first remake on TP Game Show earlier than it was supposed to be, and also showing the release date of kainokiseki PC ports in the 23rd of January, so next week in my time that I'm recording this. Thanks to Hansuke spotting this, kainokiseki will probably be on Switch as well. We don't know if Falcom will announce it at the same time as CLE, but it's a good thing to know. Anyways, going back at it. There might be a chance of them releasing East Memories of Sunset at the same time with Falcom, but who knows when. With NISA, there is not as much as right now, besides Daybreak 2 coming in the middle of February. As always, take this a grain of salt, but the game has probably been worked with the first one at the same time, since it does really have additional dialogue, plus the game has a smaller script compared to Daybreak 1. It really does help for them to not overload with so many Trails games. The game has also a demo surprisingly early as well. We don't really know if Kai will be in this year as well, but I really hope it does, since NISA has been actively working together with Falcom behind the scenes, helping during development make this go a bit too far in my head. NISA started the trend of announcing a game after releasing a Trails game 2 or 3 weeks later, so hopefully they can do it again. On top of that, they could announce Kai on PAX East on May 8th to 14th as well, and also the catalog in the middle of the year, especially far and empty, so there might be a chance to put Kai in that space, or they could do a random stream announcing the game as well. Before you get to Falcom, lastly, the most surprising announcement is vs. Trails Alternative Saga coming this year as well. The game already had a fan patch made by Geofront, and later got picked up by a new publisher called Refin Games. It has some Geofront members in this game, but mostly new people having the chance of localizing a very popular game across the years. The game will have rollback crossplay confirmed by one of the members, Yuki, 4K support, an English dub as well, and it will be available on PS4, PS5, PC, and Switch. It doesn't really have a release date, but it's confirmed to be releasing this year as well, so watch out for that. And lastly, Falcom. With all we know is that the big game for this year's 2025 is the Sky remake. What we mostly know so far is a faithful remake recreating the whole game from ground using the original engine. The game will have the same systems of Daybreak, having a real-time combat, and also you can switch to turn-based whenever you want. The game will add story elements from the pre-existing games, making it very cohesive to a new player and veterans alike. We don't really know if the game will have new rearrangements per se, since the only tracks they use in the trailers are from Sky, Sunlight album, and We Love Sora no Kiseki arranged by Yoriyuki Kamikuta and Yukihiro Jito. I really hope they address this, since the game could be a potential hit releasing on PC and PS5 and Switch. No word about the PlayStation 4 version. Am I forgetting something about the Sky remake? Oh yeah, the publisher. I'm both surprised and a bit skeptical, but I didn't expect gung-ho of all the companies getting the right for a Falcom game. After learning that most of the employees from xSEED went to gung-ho for quite a while, makes me reassured, but the skeptical part lies is that the quality of the other language besides English could be very flaky as well. It's a good thing that I mentioned about the language, there's a thing that you should know as well. The game will be available in other languages besides English, being French and German. We know that Falcom is developing the PC port in-house. The last time they did a PC port was way too, but it's a good thing to know that they're finally noticed the PC market now. So hopefully they will continue the trend of not taking too much time to release Falcom games from now on PC. I'm not really hoping to go in the same part of PS3's port, but after the announcement of the Sky first trailer, PS3 said that I will be happy to work on the PC port if gung-ho is interested. So hopefully they will try to contact them. As always, the game will have both English and Japanese though. We don't really know if it will have the same voice actor from the original though. This will be a first for Falcom to have a simultaneous and worldwide release. And up until this video, the game will be released in the fall of this year. If it all goes well, they would like to do xSEED and third remake too. Now with the Falcom game of this year, is Stand Proud. We don't really know about the console so far, but it's probably available on PS4, PS5, and Switch too. And honestly, but of course this is an assumption, because the quality of the graphics have been improved drastically. Stand Proud will have a new setting called Island, having new rooms and a new menu user. The game will have enhanced gameplay mechanics, expanded explorations, and lastly new bosses and minigames, like Mana Ride, Recharge, and Arena Battles. All I know the game will release in 2025, but I expect it to be releasing in July or June. No worries about NISA localizing this, because there might be a chance of the game being localized early 2026, since NISA seems to be actively working together to close the gap for Trails games, and it wouldn't go well to have a really big catalog for Falcom games in just a year, but they could just don't care and release anyways, who knows. Are we forgetting something? Nah. Before we finish the video, Falcom released their business plans and growth potential. Shout out to Hansuke tweeting about it. But there is not as much to say, being the title being obviously the Sky remake first chapter, but unfortunately there wasn't any questions regarding to Tokyo Xanadu 2. They probably did announce way earlier than expected, so hopefully they will show any news in the next shareholder meeting with the Trails game. But before we talk about that, there is the title D. It's not really surprising that this is the new IP, they're being actively teasing about it. We don't really know about anything, but we know that younger staff has been writing the new IP and Tokyo Xanadu 2 as well. Going a bit ahead with the other titles, let's get to the Kai Switch port, meaning the title G. It's not really a surprise for Falcom to actively pushing their titles to Switch, and the rumors of the Switch 2 slowly coming around this year makes it a no-brainer to push their games to another audience besides PlayStation. They started to do an in-house development with xSEED and later with the Kuro games, so I really doubt they will announce before the announcement of Switch 2. Title H being the most expected out of the bunch, being the sequel of kainokiseki. Someone in the shareholder made a question about the sequel, and the response being they are still in the writing stage, and the Trails team has been actively working together with the Sky remake, and will be transferred to the sequel after it goes gold in fall. I think the main writing together won't have much of a problem to be done before it releases. But the question that lies if the game will be in gears by the next year, but we will have to see. And lastly, the title I, being the East title. I really don't know what to expect here. Could be a East 5 remake that people have been coping for the past 5 or 6 years or so? Maybe. But I hope it's the 11th entry of the East series, and I believe they'll keep the same combat from the past game and improve on that. That's all we have right now, but hopefully you guys liked the video, because this was a thing that I've been planning to do for quite a while, but I didn't really have as much as research I would have wanted. But finally I got some free time and I wanted to do this. I want to do like a trend of doing that every single year, and I hope you guys like it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.